Number 13. Tom Cruise. While filming in London for Fallout, the sixth installment of the Mission Impossible franchise, actor Tom Cruise suffered a severe leg injury. Well known for doing his own stunts, Cruise had to jump between two buildings while assisted by a cable harness. As the actor landed on the side of the second building, he broke the fall with his foot, shattering his ankle. The jump itself and Cruise wincing in pain as he pulled himself onto the building and limped out of frame all made it into the final cut of the movie. Production was delayed, but the actor made a full recovery. Number 12. Olivia Jackson. After working on various blockbuster movies like Mad Max, Fury Road, and Star Wars: The Force Awakens, stunt woman Olivia Jackson took a job on the set of Resident Evil: The Final Chapter. She was a stunt double to star Mila Jovovich in a highly technical motorcycle stunt. Jackson was supposed to ride at high speed towards a camera mounted on a mechanical arm and attached to an SUV. The camera was supposed to rise up at the last moment and go over the stunt woman's head. She hadn't been informed about the decision to lift the camera a few seconds later. As a result, Jackson crashed directly into the metal arm, sustaining devastating injuries. Half of the skin on her face was torn off, and she suffered multiple fractures, ruptured arteries in her arm, and severe brain swelling. Her left arm was so badly damaged that it had to be amputated above the elbow. Jackson was in a coma for 17 days. She survived, but the accident had forever changed her life. Jackson sued the company that operated the camera and filming vehicle, and a court ultimately ruled in her favor. Number 11. Chris LAMON. In August of 2000, Chris LAMON was working on the set of an action movie called Exit Wounds, starring Steven Seagal and rapper DMX. In one of the movie's stunts, LAMON had to jump out the back of an upside-down van as it was being towed along the street during a chase scene. As he tried to roll out, LAMON lost his footing and hit his head on the pavement. He was rushed to a hospital where he was diagnosed with a fractured skull. LAMON died 6 days after the stunt had gone awry. Another stuntman reportedly had suffered a concussion during that same scene, but he eventually recovered. Number 10. Leonardo DiCaprio. On the set of Quentin Tarantino's Django Unchained, actor Leonardo DiCaprio sustained deep cuts to his hand in the middle of a climactic scene. While no particularly dangerous stunts were performed, the turn that the scene took would result in DiCaprio being injured. It involved his character slamming his hand against the table, and as DiCaprio did so, he accidentally struck a cordial glass. Even though he'd sustained deep cuts, which later required stitches, the actor never broke character. He continued the scene with a severely bloodied hand and, at one point, even started picking shards of glass out of his fingers. DiCaprio's unflinching dedication to the role and ability to push through the pain earned him widespread praise. Number 9. Jose Marco. On the set of a 1969 movie, initially called Kane, a Mexican stuntman was killed by a great white shark. In the movie, which starred Burt Reynolds as a gunrunner, stuntman Jose Marco had to do a scene with a bull shark. Precautions were taken to ensure that the predatory fish wouldn't be able to attack Marco. The bull shark, while dangerous enough in its own right, would end up being of the least concern. As Marco and the shark were in the water, a massive great white broke through a protective net and went straight for the stuntman. It bit him hard on the torso and started shaking its head violently, thus tearing open the man's stomach. Marco died several hours later. The horrific attack was caught on film, and stills of it were even featured in Life magazine. The producers, trying to capitalize on the controversy, changed the name of the movie to Shark prior to its release. Number 8. A.J. Bakunas. While working on the 1978 movie Hooper, stuntman A.J. Bakunas performed a record 230-foot freefall from a helicopter. His feat was then surpassed by another performer, who fell 286 feet in an organized publicity stunt. On the set of the movie Steel, Bakunas was determined to reclaim his record. He performed a successful fall from the 9th floor of the Kincaid Towers in Lexington, Kentucky. He then decided to attempt a free fall from the top of the structure at an estimated 315 feet. To put that height into perspective, it would be like jumping from the top of the Big Ben clock tower. On September the 21st of 1978, Bakunas performed the fall, reaching an estimated 115 miles per hour as he approached the giant airbag below. Unfortunately, the airbag split on impact. Bakunas was critically injured and died the following day. Number 7. Harry O'Connor. Harry O'Connor was a retired Navy SEAL who took advantage of his physical prowess and skydiving skills to become a stuntman. O'Connor would eventually land a job working as Vin Diesel's stunt double on the first XXX film. An elaborate action sequence involved the stuntman paragliding down Prague's Vltava River and then passing under a bridge while towed by a speedboat. He'd successfully managed the stunt a few times, but believed he could improve on it and decided to make one last attempt. Unfortunately, he made an error in steering his glider. Instead of going under the bridge, he crashed into a pillar and died instantly. Number 6. Kun Liu. When staging their action scenes, the Expendables movies generally favored traditional pyrotechnics over CGI. In at least one situation, that preference would have lethal consequences. While filming for the Expendables 2, stuntman Kun Liu died from injuries sustained in an explosion. Liu and another stuntman were floating on a rubber raft on a dam in Bulgaria. It was reported that they'd been improperly shielded from the blast. 26-year-old Liu was killed while the second stuntman was severely injured and subsequently sued the production company. Number 5. Taylor HICKSON. While filming an emotionally charged scene for a movie called Ghostland, actress Taylor HICKSON was encouraged by her director to pound on a glass door. HICKSON had reportedly been assured that it was safe to do so. What she didn't know was that production hadn't used prop glass, which is safer to break and doesn't produce sharp shards. As HICKSON struck the pane, it collapsed and she fell through, landing on the glass fragments. She sustained a deep cut to the left side of her face, which required about 70 stitches to close. Even after several reconstructive procedures, HICKSON was still left with a scar. Number 4. Hal Needham. Hal Needham was at one point the highest paid stuntman in Hollywood. Reaching that status didn't come without sacrifice, as Needham claimed to have broken 56 bones throughout his extensive career. During a car chase for a movie called McHugh, Needham was forced to deal with a difficult situation. He had to make a car roll over on a flat beach. This meant that he couldn't use a ramp since it would have been impossible to hide. Needham invented what he called the McHugh cannon and welded it to the floorboard of the car. The cannon barrel was loaded with a 3-foot-long telephone pole and a black powder charge. As it fired, the pole was pushed into the ground and consequently launched the car into a barrel roll. Needham then found that the explosion from a single charge only lifted the vehicle about 6 inches. He then decided to put 4 charges in. The resulting explosion was more massive than anyone had anticipated. It ended up launching the vehicle 30 feet into the air with Needham inside. The stuntman survived but had broken 6 ribs, his back had punctured a lung and lost several teeth. Number 3. Jim Caviezel. While on the set of The Passion of the Christ, actor Jim Caviezel suffered a number of gruesome injuries. The actor was portraying Jesus Christ in the moments leading up to the crucifixion. Director Mel Gibson had decided to use props that were as close as possible to authentic. During the scourging scene, an actor playing a Roman torturer missed the mark and struck Caviezel's bare back with the whip. A 14-inch gash opened up, and the actor claimed the pain momentarily froze his diaphragm, rendering him unable to breathe. It was the first of 2 accidental floggings that Caviezel sustained during filming. In another scene, the actor fell to the ground with the 150-pound cross he was carrying. The impact not only dislocated his shoulder, but also caused the actor to bite through his tongue. Perhaps the most shocking of Caviezel's injuries occurred while he was filming the Sermon on the Mount scene. That's when the actor was struck by lightning. His whole body was reportedly illuminated, and some of the crew claimed flashes of fire had come out the sides of his head. Fortunately, Caviezel made a full recovery from all his injuries. Today's topic was requested by JC Ann C, Timo Aguna, The Teeth Grinder, and Amy Maquette. If you have any other topics you'd like to learn about, subscribe and let us know in the comments section below. Number 2. David Holmes. For several movies in the Harry Potter series, David Holmes had worked as a stunt double for Daniel Radcliffe, the actor playing the titular role. On the set of the first Deathly Hallows movie, Holmes suffered a life-altering accident. During a routine stunt, Holmes was meant to fly through the air and then get knocked back by an explosion. Holmes was fitted with the wire harness and was preparing to do a jerkback. It's a move that involved the wire yanking him backwards. Unfortunately, Holmes was pulled with too much force and was slammed into a wall before tumbling to the ground. He severely injured his neck in the process and was left paralyzed from the chest down. Join the They Will Kill You team by rocking the latest merch from theywillkillyou.com. Order yours today to be one of the first to spread the word. Number 1. Art Scholl. Art Scholl was a renowned acrobatic pilot who in 1985 was working on Top Gun, a movie which starred Tom Cruise as a jet fighter pilot. As per the movie script, Scholl performed a flat spin in his Pitts S2 plane. The move was meant to be captured using onboard cameras. The aircraft continued its downward spiral past the point of recovery. Then through the radio came what would become Scholl's last words. He said, "I have a problem. I have a real problem." No one knows what the pilot meant since, moments later, he crashed into the Pacific. Neither the plane nor the pilot's body was ever recovered. The movie was subsequently dedicated to Scholl's memory. Thanks for watching. Which actor or actress would you pick to play you in the movie about your life? Let us know in the comments section below.